name is Vanessa van Dijk, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use Timeless Matrixyl Synthe 6 Serum, which is another peptide serum that should help to improve the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. So you can say it is a great anti-aging serum. Now you can use it on all skin types, but it's specifically suitable if you have mature skin. And so therefore, when working with it, first of all, it's very lightweight. Second of all, it absorbs quickly into the skin. And lastly, it layers well along with other skincare products. Which now brings me to a point that I want to emphasize when adding it to your current existing skincare routine. You may have already heard of the name Matrixyl. Generally speaking, this peptide complex is a bit more sensitive to a low pH environment, which does not make it that simple to add it to your current existing skincare routine, specifically if you're using an exfoliant or vitamin C product, because this is where it's going to conflict. So generally speaking, with exfoliating acid products that have a low pH, so if it's below 5, sometimes they will tell you what the pH is, sometimes you do not know it, but generally speaking I recommend keeping them separate. This would apply to exfoliating acid cleansers, as you can see right here. Even leave-on exfoliating acid solutions, toners, serums or lotions. And lastly, exfoliating acid masks, which are going to lower the skin's pH, and so therefore it's best to not use it in the same routine when working with an exfoliant. So use your peptide serum in the morning and then your exfoliant in the evening. You still can use them on the same day, but not in the same routine. The same would apply to vitamin C. Now, it's not about vitamin C derivatives. You can use this serum with vitamin C derivatives, but it mainly focuses on the pure form of vitamin C, which is ascorbic acid. So if you have a vitamin C product at home where it does mention that it contains ascorbic acid, keep it separate. Usually ascorbic acid performs best if it is in a low pH environment, so the overall formulation of the product should be a low pH. However, there are certain ways on how you can also get it to a higher pH, but then still usually they do not tell you what the pH is. So to keep it again safe, to make sure that you're getting most out of your vitamin C as well as your peptide, keep them separate. Use one in the morning, the other one in the evening. And so then there you have it. So this is what you have to keep in mind when adding this serum to your routine. Now, as always, I have prepared for you an example morning and evening skincare routine so that you can see the order of application, see what products you can, for example, pick if you're completely new to skincare in general and you just want to get an overall idea but still want to target the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. So for my morning skincare routine, you're going to get started with washing your face. This can be with purely water. However, if you have an oilier skin type, you have sweat a lot, and you may have still some residue left from the night before due to your skincare routine, I still recommend washing your face with a gentle and suitable cleanser for your skin type to properly remove it before applying the serum to the skin. Once you're done with your cleansing step, you can move on to an optional step if you want to add hydration to the skin. This can be an hydrating and soothing toner. You can see two examples right here. Apply it to the skin, leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. If you do not have a toner, then it's fine to just skip it and immediately after your cleansing step, move on to the serum. Then go ahead, apply the serum to the skin, and once you have applied it, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now, this specific serum does not make your skin sensitive to the sun. However, if you're being concerned about your fine lines and wrinkles, you want to protect it, you want to prevent it as much as possible, like extend it, then it still is important to work with sun protection during daytime. This can be a moisturizer that already contains SPF or a regular sunscreen, and then apply it evenly all over your face and neck, and you're going to leave it on the skin. Now, what's important to keep in mind when applying your sunscreen is apply it at 10 to 15 minutes before sun exposure. Use about half a teaspoon for your face and neck. This can of course be adjusted. Make sure that you're using a sunscreen that feels comfortable on the skin, and if you have a lot of sun exposure, please do not forget to reapply throughout the day to keep the protection going. Now you can see an infographic right here to summarize it again, but still I do want to quickly emphasize the main points. Now, when it comes to an evening skincare routine, your evening skincare routine can be completely different than your morning routine for sure. However, if you want to use the serum in the evening instead of morning, or maybe you want to use it twice per day, well then for your evening skincare routine, it can look pretty much the same, just without the sunscreen step. So cleanser, toner, serum, and then you may want to finish off with an oil and or moisturizer, or just finish with the serum if that's enough for you, depending on your skin type as well. Now, if you have worn sunscreen as well as makeup throughout the day, you cannot properly remove it with your usual cleanser. I recommend doing a double cleanse. This can be with micellar at first, then your regular cleanser, or with an oil or balm cleanser and then move on to your regular cleanser, so that you can properly remove any excess oil, dirt, sweat, makeup and sunscreen from the skin. And then you're going to continue with the rest of your evening skincare routine, and there you have it. So this would be an example, this would be the order of application that you can keep in mind. Now, if you want to go over the conflicts, the example skincare routines, as well as the additional information such as a sunscreen guide, you will find everything in the description box down below. You just need to click on the link and you can even download those PowerPoint slides. Now I want to keep my focus on my morning skincare routine. So I'm going to go with cleanser, toner, serum, and then sunscreen, so that you can see the application visually as well. So again, the first step is going to be washing the face. As already mentioned, purely water is fine as well, but I'm going to go with a cleanser. So I'm going to use Cetaphil's Daily Facial Cleanser. That's great for combination to oily skin. If you have a dry skin type, well then look for a cleanser that's suitable for dry skin. Read on the back of the packaging on how you should use your cleanser, and then start with washing your face. You can do this above the sink or in the shower. Here it is advised to apply the cleanser on wet skin. So I'm going to use lukewarm water to warm water, wet my face and neck. Then I'm going to use a bit of the cleanser, massage it all over my face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then I'm going to rinse it off. In between, I like to work with a soft and fresh washcloth to properly remove any residue of the cleanser, but it also works great if you're trying to remove sunscreen as well as makeup. And then I'm going to pat the skin dry. So let's go ahead and do this. So use between 1 to 2 pumps, so about a coin size amount. So once you're done with your cleansing step, you can immediately move on to the next step. Now again, the next step is an optional step, which can be an hydrating and soothing toner. But please again, do not confuse it with an exfoliating acid toner, because then it's going to conflict. So as an example of a toner, I'm going to use Timeless Spray, which is the Matrixyl and Rose Extract example. Of course, if you have a different toner that works well for you, go ahead and use it. Now, if you have a toner at home that you're going to dispense like this, you can use it on a cotton pad. Soak up a cotton pad, just make sure that it's not completely wet or dripping when applying it to the skin, or use between 5 to 10 drops on the palm of your hand and then start applying it. This one now comes in a spray bottle, so you can theoretically spray it like this to the face if that's something that you prefer. However, for me personally, I still like to apply it with my hands, and then I recommend using between 2 to 4 spritz on the palm of your hand and then do the application on your face and neck. Just make sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth. If that's the case, rinse it with water. So once you're done with the application of your toner, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now you can move on into the Matrixyl Synthe 6 Serum. And when doing the application, use between 3 to 4 drops, about that much. Please make sure to use enough so that you can properly blend it all over your face as well as your neck if you want to include it. But at the same time, it shouldn't sit on the skin surface. The serum should be able to absorb into the skin, so please do not overdo it. This one has a pipette, so you can dispense it immediately to the face. Use a few drops on your fingertips or on the palm of your hand. So there are different ways on how you can work with it and apply it. Whatever works the best for you, go ahead and do so, and then start blending it all over your face and neck. You can even go ahead and use it along this part right here, since you can also experience some fine lines right here on the corner. So go ahead and target that area if you have this issue. And then once you're done with the application, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. So once you're done with the application of the serum, and this is going to be your evening skincare routine, you can stop right here depending on your skin type. If you do not feel the need of using an oil and or moisturizer afterwards, it's fine that this is going to be your last step. However, in the evening, if you always feel the need of following with something else afterwards, well, then you can go with an oil and or moisturizer. When using an oil, use between 4 to 6 drops for your face and neck. When working with a moisturizer, use more or less about a bean size amount, or you can even mix it. So use about a bean size amount of your moisturizer on the palm of your hand, and add about 2 to 3 drops of the oil, mix it, and then do the application. So there are several methods on how you can work with it for your evening skincare routine. However, I'm going to keep my focus on a morning skincare routine. So in this specific case, as I already mentioned earlier, it is important to follow with sun protection, specifically if you want to improve and do not make your fine lines and wrinkles worse due to the sun exposure. And so this can be with the moisturizer that already contains SPF or a regular sunscreen. Now, after your serum step and your sunscreen step, like after your serum step but before your sunscreen step, you can use a moisturizer in between if you should feel the need. However, depending on your sunscreen as well as maybe your skin type, using a regular sunscreen on its own without the need of a moisturizer in between is completely fine as well. So see what works, layers, and feels the best for you when doing so. Now, one thing that won't change is how much you're going to use of your sunscreen, and this is more or less about half a teaspoon for your face and neck. Now, if you're just going to focus on your face, well then of course it's going to be a bit less. If you want to include your décolletage rate, you're going to add a bit more. Now, this amount can change a bit depending on the texture of your sunscreen and how well it blends all over your face and neck. If it's quite runny, you may feel the need of using a bit more. If it's a bit thicker, you are going to reduce it. But make sure that you're using enough to evenly and properly blend it all over your face and neck so that you're not going to miss any areas. So, and once you're done with the application of your sunscreen, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And then this is going to be an example of a morning skincare routine, including Timeless Matrixyl Synthe 6 Serum. Now, I do hope that you enjoyed this video, that you find it helpful. And I do want to remind you again that you can find the PowerPoint slides in the description box down below. Under additional information, you can find way more information about overall, like setting up your skincare routine based on the order of applications. So if you're into this, you want to learn it, you will find it below. Now, if you find this video helpful, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it. And if you now want to learn more about maybe Timeless itself or other skincare products, you want to see also some application videos, I have several ones for you on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to link some of them at the end of this video so that you can keep on watching. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye!